Hello and welcome. Thank you again so much for joining us. I am very excited to introduce you to Ellen Wong. Now, Ellen is one of my sisters in Canada. So she's coming from the other side of the globe, which I just love in the first place. But Ellen is also one of the most sincere, well-versed, intelligent and authentic women that I have ever had the pleasure of getting to know. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I know for you watching, you are going to learn a whole lot from Ellen and Ellen's experience and hopefully be really inspired to also, follow your own dreams. So Ellen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, and the invitation was such an honor. So I'm so excited to be here and just chat.
It's going to be fun. So can you talk to me? You're relatively new to the whole world of Creatrix. You experienced Creatrix as a client about 12 months ago. And that in itself was quite an enlightening experience for you. And I know from that moment, you were really interested in learning transformology and bringing Creatrix into Canada. Can you talk to us a little bit about that period between when you experienced Creatrix as a client and when we were actually able to train you in Canada? What led you to so passionately want to bring Creatrix into Canada in the first place? Why were you so driven to learn this tool?
It has a lot to do with the fact that when I did get Creatrix, I was able to experience something so profound that nothing had come close to before. And so prior to, can I talk a little bit about what kind of prior to Creatrix, how I felt, and then I'll share a little bit about after Creatrix. So prior to Creatrix, I had tried, I'd gone through kind of my fair share of ups and downs in life and a lot. And so I honestly have tried quite a few things. I went through periods of definitely I was feeling anxious and depressed, and I was given options of pharmaceutical medications. As a trained naturopathic doctor, I had all of the naturopathic tools, and I definitely got through that. And I would say I could clearly tell you that I wouldn't necessarily fit the diagnosis anymore of being clinically anxious and clinically depressed. But it didn't mean that I didn't have remnants of those. And so for anybody who has experienced anxiety, depression, when you come through it, it's not like you are suddenly the most happy, cheerful, calm person that anyone's ever met. Like, there's remnants of the way you thought and the way you feel. It's just not at the point of a panic attack or suicidal tendencies, which at one point I had gone through. And so I always firmly believed, and through my journey through anxiety and depression, I firmly believe that if your mood is being affected by the way you think, there is absolutely no pill you can take to change the way you think. It's not a possibility. The pill stops you from having a panic attack, and it stops you from being so depressed that you can't get out of bed and do your job. But there are thoughts in our minds that trigger the way we feel.
Yep.
And no pill you take, pharmaceutical or natural, will change that. No diet anybody could give me could change the way I think. And once I came to that realization, I went on a journey in search of all the ways that I could try to feel better from that level. And for sure, like, I've done the, mindfulness trainings a whole bunch of different times. I tried meditation, and I've tried like umpteen different counseling, psychotherapy, and truthfully, they all help. They all helped me to a certain degree, but oftentimes there would be a trigger and then things would come back. Never to as bad as it was when I needed to take medication, but it was always lingering. And because it was always lingering, I never truly felt very happy and free and like kind of joyous for life and vibrant and all those things that I really wish I felt. And it just weighed on me, because more than anything, when I worked with whether it was patients or coaching clients, more than anything, I loved helping people feel happy. And it was a bit of an irony that I couldn't feel that. Like I couldn't embrace the feeling, even though I could sense it from them and it made me happy to feel it for them, but I couldn't feel it for myself. And it weighed on me and it weighed on me and it weighed on me. And I remember, kind of getting to know you and then approaching you and doing Creatrix. And then when we went through our Creatrix session and that journey, which honestly didn't even take that long, I don't know, we were together for maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3, 4 weeks. I don't remember. I remember like, I don't know, so something like that. And then I came out the other side and I was just like, I don't remember the last time I felt this way. And so let's say you and I were together for a month. Let's go with that. It's probably around that. So let's say it was a month, but I had spent, oh gosh, like by the time I had done Creatrix with you, probably like 6 to 8 years maybe, feeling the way I felt. And in a month, it was gone. It was gone. And I very, very much remember telling you one time that my mind was so empty that I didn't know what to do with it. Like it felt weird for my mind to feel this empty and my chest to not feel that constriction and that suffocation feeling that I had carried for years. And I remember you told me that, oh, but it's great that now your mind is empty because now you get to fill it with the things that you want to fill it with, as opposed to things that you had before that you didn't like. And it was because of that feeling of just like, almost like I had a fresh start to now build my life. I get to decide what thoughts I put in my head. I get to decide what feelings I want to keep. And hence my pestering you every 2 months about whether you were going to start training transformologists in Canada. So yeah, it was honestly one of the most profound changes that I've experienced with respect to kind of personal development and feelings and moods and thoughts for forever. Like nothing's come close.
And I love what your journey represents, because so many women, particularly women who share a passion to help others, we know that we've got the abilities, the skill set, the qualifications to be able to go out and coach other women. Mm-hmm. But so many of us are doing that while still masking the way that we're feeling within ourselves. Yep. And that then becomes that real hypocritical, I can help you, but I can't help me. So there's this mismatched energy of what you can give to someone else, but you can't achieve for yourself. And I love you went on this journey and you said, one of the things that you did multiple times was mindfulness courses. Mindfulness is all about being able to control the quality of your thoughts so that you can then affect the way that you feel. And for years you'd done mindfulness and practices along those lines, and then in a month you had Creatrix, and the mindfulness, I'm going to bet, just kind of happened then. It wasn't something that you had to consciously think to do. You could just be mindful and positive and in that space that then allowed you to feel all of the things that you wanted to feel.
I didn't have to fight to be mindful. It was no longer a fight to be present. It wasn't a fight to be able to observe my thoughts, because now I can observe them without being triggered by them. And it's not to say Creatrix has taken away any negative thought I could ever have or any negative emotion I'll ever feel, because that's not realistic. You would turn into a robot, and Creatrix doesn't turn people into robots, right? But it's just, I can observe the thought now and almost have a choice what to do with it. One of the analogies that in trying to learn to explain Creatrix to my clients, I've kind of realized there's this analogy that I use, which is if you have a garden and there's weeds and grass all over the garden, mindfulness is a little bit like, pay attention to the weed, and it's okay that the weed is there. But I could still see the weeds and they could still bug me quite a bit, because I just want a nice garden without weeds and lots of nice flowers and that kind of stuff. Creatrix came in and just plucked out all the weeds And now I have a chance to plant whatever I want in those spaces and in that garden. And so it's like there's no amount of positive thinking that you can push on someone in hopes that the negative gets erased. Like, that's not how it works. The negative needs to be removed first.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
How did that help you? So, talking from a practitioner perspective, you'd had all of this experience where you were helping others, but were still struggling with your own quality of thinking. So you were still feeling the effects of that negative head talk. What was the difference for you once you'd completely cleared, or not completely, realistically cleared the repetitive negative head talk that wasn't serving you? How did that allow you to better show up for your clients?
On two different levels. One, I was actually able to confidently tell them that it can be done because I've had it done. So on that level. And the second level is I am now more present in my interactions with anybody. And it's not just my clients, but obviously with patients, it's a big concern if they're telling me things and because I was triggered or because I had something happen or I had a negative thought in my head that made me not able to pay attention as well and be there to accurately and professionally be there for that person. So it's like two levels. It's almost like now I can tell somebody you absolutely can get to this point because I went through it. And also in the interaction of being in a doctor-patient relationship to be able to very comfortably be there and not be triggered by anything that my patients say or anything that they've experienced. I can feel for them and I can be there for them and I can help them, but I don't get triggered to a point where I feel like it's hard to be present in the moment.
Which I'm going to imagine is also therefore allowing you to, help your clients even more because you are able to really hear what it is that they need and not be distracted by what's going on for you.
For sure. And also not feeling like a fraud because I tell people to be patient and present every day in their interactions, but then not being able to do it in the moment that I'm saying it to them, right? And so yeah, it helped. It helped me a lot, and because part of my job was not just with patients, it was because I teach as well. Sometimes there's a lot of things that can happen in that job that can be triggering. Students are sometimes very nice, and students are sometimes not very nice, and it's very easy to in a class of 140 something people. It's easy to sometimes be triggered. It's easy to be delivering a lecture and seeing two students in the back whispering or laughing and nothing I'm saying is that funny. So I don't get carried away thinking about, are they talking about me? Is something wrong? It's something like I used to have all of those and it doesn't shake me anymore. Like I can observe any of this and it could be giving a talk, it could be giving a keynote, it could be lecturing and it doesn't faze me anymore. Like I feel
that itself is really powerful because women are naturally inferential. So a lot of women will go into that situation, for instance, where you are speaking in front of an audience, you will automatically pick up that negative vibe from those few people, and then you will turn that whole situation into they must be talking about me, and that then sets off all of that negative shit in your own head, which completely robs the rest of your audience from actually getting you as well.
Yeah, it's not fair to everybody else, but here I am, like I am now distracted by something that's happening, and as I'm talking, my brain is going through its automatic thought patterns of, are they talking about me? What did I say? Are they bored? And then it would be like, are they going to give me a bad review? Is this going to affect my job? Like it just kept spiraling, and I'm still talking about what I'm supposed to be talking about, but my mind is somewhere else. And first of all, that's infinitely tiring to have two conversations at the exact same time, one externally and one internally. But it made me feel like I wasn't doing my job well then, because I'm supposed to be taking care of an entire class, not be worried about how I feel because I got triggered, right? So again, like having Creatrix is really, it's been a very invaluable tool to take care of a lot of these scenarios, and therefore make me feel like I'm doing my jobs a lot better, and serving the people that I'm serving a lot better.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the theme that you're also talking about. You know, you keep mentioning that in all of those situations, life situations, because, you know, like you said earlier, we are not robots. So as human beings, particularly emotional, hormonal women, we are going to encounter various trigger or possible triggers throughout every single day of our life. And I love that what you're saying is that if something does cause you to trigger, you don't have to get stuck in that space of feeling triggered anymore either. So we call it in transformology continual facilitator development, because we know that you're going to go out there, you're going to experience life, and new triggers are going to show up that could potentially, you know, act as a glass ceiling and stop you from moving forward and leveling up. So how has that been for you, knowing that you are an incredibly busy and successful woman in various circumstances? You know, you teach, you practice, you're a coach, you're also a mum with a young bub. There are a lot of opportunities for you to be triggered. How has it changed? And again, comparing it to in the past with all of the training that you had before in regards to mindfulness and everything else that you've done, I'm sure they taught the same things. You're going to be triggered, but this is what you need to do. How has the approach differed, knowing that when you are triggered in real life now, you've got this transformology background available to you to access?
Let me think about how to say this. It was almost like prior to Creatrix, I had the tools and I knew that, but it was tiring is not the exact word, but it was such a process to go to implement the changes. And I'm not saying that they're not important, because I think on some level, you know, different types of approaches are used for different things, and that's okay. But now, like before, it would be, oh no, here I go again. Like that was always kind of my first response was, oh gosh, here I go again. Okay, I need to make time to do this. I need to change that to do this. And then I have to implement this. And it was just like, and then I would, because it felt like such a process. And occasionally it felt like the therapy could also be a burden on top of the concern, because of whatever it meant in my life to implement that therapy. But now with Creatrix, I don't have that feeling. I just know that if I know that I'm being triggered and I know it's affecting me, I just call upon another transformologist, and I know it's going to get resolved. And the process is easy. It's not something that makes me feel like it's a burden to have to go do. Now it's like great, I'm going to find someone who can help me, and I know that in less than an hour this is going to be resolved, and I'm going to be good, and it's going to be all right. And that is, for someone who is busy and has a lot on the go, that feels really good to know that it's going to be a very short, sweet, effective, and I'm going to feel good, and everything's going to be done in like an hour, maybe 2 maximum, and I'm going to walk out of that and I will feel completely fine, and everything is going to be okay again. And that, again, for someone who's busy, is amazing to know that I can have guaranteed results in 2 hours.
Yeah. And that was, you know, I did a video on this the other day, guaranteed results. I was thinking about it. There are so few industries even that can confidently stand behind their product and guarantee an outcome. You know, it's not just in personal development. We know that in the world of personal development, Creatrix Transformology is one of the very few, if not the only, modality that can confidently offer an outcome to our, you know, facilitators and also to our clients. But it goes across the board, because even in, you know, your experience with naturopathy, you can't guarantee an outcome when it's reliant on someone else taking action or someone else implementing what it is that they need in order to achieve the results that they're looking for.
Yeah.
There's very few industries that can offer a guarantee. So knowing that you've come from this medical background and you've got a desire to be able to really make an impact in women's lives, how has that been for you, knowing that you can now offer a service that is backed by a guarantee?
It's like you said, it's unheard of. As you were saying this, I'm trying to think of an example of another industry, product, service, anything that can offer a guaranteed outcome. And I truthfully cannot think of a single example. And it's empowering, but also very humbling at the same time. For me, I feel like to be able to offer something that can transform another person, another woman's life with that guarantee is, without a doubt, the most powerful tool I can offer.
Yeah.
But it's also so humbling to me that this change can happen. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, it's not like a I'm on top of the world kind of empowering, but it's like a very grounded kind of empowering. And to me, that's better. To me, it feels better to be able to have like that kind of feeling, where it's very grounded and empowering, and I'm not, flying the skies kind of empowering. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I feel it's the difference between, loud hype that is just said for the sake of marketing and attention, and that quiet confidence of, no, I'm serious. I guarantee my outcome. Like, there is so much, the grounding is it's a grounded confidence in yourself to be able to get your chosen client who is right and ready for that level of transformation to get to the outcome she's seeking. It's pretty bloody awesome, really, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. You're right. It's the difference between the person who takes the stage just to be able to take the stage and kind of shout out a message at you, versus the person that's sitting in the back kind of being like, that's nice. I can do that, maybe even better, but without having to put on this big show for everybody. It's just this kind of, like you said, like a quiet confidence and being like, I can do this. Like, if you're ready to step forward, then I'm going to step forward too and meet you. And together we're going to take this journey and transform you into, somebody without all those glass ceilings and limitations and all the heavy weight of that life has, built in through experiences and traumas and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to shed that all together. And now you're going to be able to build a new life to your desire and your dream, whatever that means to you. We can do that now. And again, like it's a humbling feeling, but one that feels very
business. It changes the face of our business. It changes the way in which we do business as well. As a transformologist, it's not about hustle. You've got to be on all of the time, because we know that if we just quietly do what we need to do, the outcomes will speak for themselves. The results will speak for themselves. And if we just keep doing what we're doing, knowing that one woman at a time we are making a significant guaranteed change, then the right women will step forward. And that takes so much pressure off the way that we do businesses. Don't you agree?
Yes. I've never, ever felt this kind of easygoing with taking on a new venture. Like, it's always been, I'm not doing enough. I should be doing more. I need to be doing more. How come I'm not doing as much as everyone else? And there's a lot of kind of comparison, or I'm not achieving the same results as everybody else. Whereas right now, I kind of feel like I'm taking this at my own pace because it needs to feel right for me. And if I know I'm procrastinating because of a trigger, then I get that worked on, and then I can move on right to the next thing. And I don't have to feel that way when I watch the other transformologists kind of share their wins and do their things. I don't have that I should be doing that that feeling. And I'm you like I would say I would classify as a high achiever. I've always been someone who wanted to excel at everything that I take on. Like, I either don't take it on, but if I take it on, I want to excel. And in Creatrix, I don't feel badly if how should I say it? Like, I don't feel badly if I'm not necessarily exactly where everyone else is or doing better. I'm very comfortable with taking it at my own pace, asking for help, and just kind of observing other people and learning from other people. And that's another great thing, is that I feel like in no other business, I feel like, especially when it comes to like coaching practices and all that, where I can just reach out and say to a sister transformologist, can I sit in on your workshop just to learn from you? And everyone's like, yes, yeah, here's the link. Absolutely, go for it. And it's like, no, like, everyone out there is so protective. It's like, oh, this is mine. And if you hear from it, then maybe you're going to steal it from me and maybe you'll do better. And it's all this competition. And behind that is a lot of kind of angry, jealous, hustling energy. And I've not experienced that at all since joining the sisterhood with Creatrix, because every time I've reached out to someone, it's always been a positive. Absolutely, you can sign up for my challenge and see what I'm doing, and sign up for the videos and watch my workshops. I'll even look over your workshop if you're ready and when you're ready to do it. And it's just like, where else am I going to find that? I've never encountered anything like it.
Yep. So how has your life and your approach to business, and even the results that you are getting within your business, how has that changed since becoming a Creatrix Transformologist?
I'm a lot calmer. I used to rush around a lot because I had a lot to do. So I would rush around to do everything because that's kind of how it felt it needed to be. How else was I going to get everything done if I didn't rush? And I remember actually creatrixing the issue. I never have enough time as one of the, because it's something I always said to myself. And now I would say I'm equally busy. I might not be full-time working, but I have a new child, so that kind of takes up just as much time, if not more. And even with deadlines, I don't say that to myself anymore. Like, I don't feel panicked. I don't feel rushed. I just go, like, the other day I was wrapping up some prep for starting the school semester for the students at the naturopathic college, and I'm just like, okay, well, like, I'll get to it. It'll be done. Like, I'll get it done. And I've never really felt, usually right this time of the year is a very, very, very hectic time because everything needs to be written in, and it's literally 1 week before the start of school. And this is the hectic time. This is the nonstop prepping, double checking, sending everything in. Like, it's this energy that is extremely stressful and fast paced, and like, you can't catch your breath because there's no time. And yesterday I did end up working until late in the evening, like 11 o'clock, because I needed to wrap something up. But I was so calm. Like, I was like, I'm going to make myself a tea. Do I need a snack? I'm going to set myself up, put my headphones in. And then I just like slowly, well, it felt slow, but I still accomplished what I needed to accomplish. And so in everything now, I feel a lot more like just calm. And because I'm calm, I think I might actually even be more effective, make less mistakes, worry less about the quality of the work that I'm putting out, because I'm not rushing. I'm not, it's weird. It's an odd feeling. It's not like I'm taking more time. I just feel like I have more time to use.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And time is one of those beliefs that often cause women to put themselves into stressful situations, to panic, to worry about things that are unnecessary, to feel rushed and hustle all of the time. So, being able to thoroughly reframe the way that you see time so that it is just this new approach to the way in which you choose to spend your day is an absolute game changer.
It is. Actually, it didn't even occur to me until you just asked me right now that August is typically a really, really rough month, and I feel pretty good right now.
And
Like,
it's the end of August, so
yeah, like I feel pretty good. Yeah, I didn't think about it until now, but yes, reflecting back, every year since I've taught, August is a very, very hectic, very exhausting month, and now I feel fine.
Yep.
Pretty
And
cool.
I love that that's just dawned on you as well, because
Yeah.
we always say that the downside to Creatrix is it works so thoroughly, you forget how bad things were when you used to be triggered. And then when something like what's just happened for you occurs, where you go, well, this time last year I would have been losing my shit, or I would have been doing this, or I would have been doing that.
Yeah.
This month it's just been so different.
Yeah.
That's when you really start to relive the power of Creatrix, because you've been able to get through August without having to put any time, effort, or force into staying calm.
Yes. And that's honestly wasted energy. Like when you have to put energy towards staying calm instead of putting energy towards the work that you're supposed to be doing, it's a waste of energy. And so again, like for anybody who I feel like is really big on being efficient and worried about wasting time, you waste a lot of time and energy stressing about time and energy. So now that I've been able to Creatrix all of that, now it's just smooth sailing. It's all been very good. I like this.
So if there was a woman just like you, high achiever, you know, very committed to self, committed to others, you know, possibly stress head, knowing that what they're doing is not actually working for long-term benefit, what would you say to her if she was watching your video and going, oh, but it sounds too good to be true, or is that possible for me? You know, wherever she is in the world, because we know now, you know, we're in Australia, you're in Canada, we're in, I think, 20 countries around the world. So really distance is an issue. Thanks, COVID. What would you say to her?
Don't waste any more time. I think of all the people that I've worked with in multiple different realms, one of the things with women who are high achievers is time and energy is their two most valuable resources, and they feel like they have to dedicate their time and energy into things that matter to them. So when you ask them to take time and energy into personal development, self-help, self-healing, it becomes oh, should I do that? Because I could just be spending that half an hour working instead. So I've definitely had this conversation with people where if I recommended, well, take half an hour to meditate or take a bubble bath so you can just relax, they're like, but I'm just going to spend that time thinking about work anyway, so I might as well just put that half an hour towards work and get it done, and then I'll be done. And I would say, don't waste any more time and energy and your valuable resources into fighting to stay in that zone where you are stressed out and you are panicked and you're constantly hustling. Just take that time, that limited time you have, put it towards something that's really genuinely, truly going to change your perspective, your feelings, your thoughts, your approach to life. Put it in that and see how your life changes afterwards. It's a very, very it's very worth your time. That's how I would say it. Like, instead of worrying and stressing about which modality to use, how to implement it, do I have time to do it, just forget all of that. Know that you're going to dedicate some time to this process, but know that this time is going to be the most valuable thing that you've ever done for yourself, because you're going to come out and your whole approach to life is going to be so different that like it's like I'm almost at loss for words how much it's going to change your outlook and therefore your output in what you want to do.
And what you're able to achieve when you're working with others.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, let's start with you. And in the transformology training, we're blessed that that is the focus initially. Let's get you out of your way. Let's then skill you up so that you're actually able to take on board what it is that we teach you, so that then you can go and implement and learn while you're implementing to help other people, and do it all in a way that does not feel rushed or hustly or pushy or, you know, any of that icky stuff that actually triggers so many women to feel all of the shit that they're feeling in the first place.
I think the transformology training process itself is quite brilliantly designed, because it's a bit of like a circle, but a lot of the times in training, in any certification, you're learning something and then you have to go implement it. But you get in your own way of doing the learning and the implementing. And so the tool that you are learning is the same thing that you do during your training, so that you practice and learn how to get out of your own way so that then you can go and do this for someone else. But it's brilliant in that, like, you're dealing with your own shit. Can you say shit? Dealing with your own dealing with your own stuff as you're learning, which is actually a brilliant way to do it, because you're going to walk out of transformology training kind of having experienced Creatrix Transformology yourself. So now, and because you've experienced it, you've got rid of the stuff that's holding you back, and now you're fully ready to go ahead and help someone else, because you've transformed and you have the tool, the same tool, to transform someone else, which is, it's quite brilliant, actually.
Yep. So last question, and this is a question I've been asking in most recent interviews that I've been doing. What's it been like for you being able to set another woman's heart free, knowing that you've had client come to you upset, in pain, stuck in her own way, feeling what she's feeling? How has that felt for you as the facilitator to be able to break her through, achieve her outcome, the one that you were confidently able to guarantee, and know that she is now out there living her best life on her own terms?
It's a very hard to describe feeling. It's ecstatic, like to see somebody and know how their life is going to change moving forward because of the process. It's something that I feel a lot of gratitude for, because I've always wanted to help people feel this way, and this is now the tool that I can use to do it. So it's like a mixture of extreme gratitude, feeling ecstatic, feeling, I don't know what's a level above amazing. Like, I don't know that I know the word. It leaves me speechless when I see the issues ratings and all that kind of stuff. Like it is like it leaves me speechless. And again, back to the word I used before, which is humbling, to know that there is a tool that's honestly just this powerful. And that we're trusted with it, you know. And I hope I always get to feel this way. It's an incredible thing to be able to feel. I hope forever I will always get to know that I help someone out so much and feel so happy and so humbled by it at the exact same time. I think it's a beautiful feeling. Yeah.
Well, Ellen, thank you so much for your time today. It has been a joy. I love listening and getting that clarity around, your experience, because I know women like who you used to be. And I know that, just like I know for you, they are capable of so much when they get out of their own ways, and when they relinquish control a little bit to allow things to just happen naturally and within flow. And you know, that's what I've witnessed for you, and it's been an absolute joy. And I look forward to continuing to see how you take this new approach and grow, you know, the Canadian market, because, you know, there are women all over the world that need Creatrix, and it's just an absolute honor knowing that you're out there joining our mission and focusing on being able to help that other woman to feel what we feel every single day because of the work that we get to do. So thank you.
I think I just had this thought that this image pop into my mind is, if we are able to all unite together and set those 10 million hearts, 10 million, 1 million, 10 million hearts free, I just imagine what our world would feel like.
Yeah.
With everything going on and all the challenges and all the hardships. And I kind of picture this world where everybody walks around with their head up high and smiling and vibrant and happy and kind, instead of, you know, sometimes the head down chasing things for whatever reason, being upset and stressed and worried and fearful and all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like collectively this world really would feel like a different place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're making it happen.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
One woman at a time.
One woman at a time. So if you've been watching this, and if you can see that image that Ellen has so eloquently painted in our minds now, and you're wanting to be a part of this mission of setting 10 million hearts free, your own heart being one of them, then, you know, reach out, let's have a chat, because, you know, this is the way of the future for women in personal development, without a shadow of a doubt. We know through, you know, all of the transformologists that we're training and the experience that they have with their clients, that this tool is a life-changing tool for women. And we really look forward to being able to welcome all of the women who share our passion and our vision of the world into our movement, because we are going to change the world. Absolutely.
For sure.
Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you.